everybody, welcome back to my channel. It is Melody Zondo, and today I'm doing part 3 of my domestic violence and abuse series. And on the last episode I spoke about the signs or behavioral patterns that you need to look out for from your partner to see if they are being abusive, how they make you feel. So I'm going to pick up on that, but I'm also going to speak about your feelings as well as your emotions, how you feel towards them, which will tell you if they Please excuse the lighting, guys. The weather is a little bit on and off. I'm not sure what is going on. It looks like it wants to rain, and the room that I use for this is outside. I'm going to get into this video. Remember to like, to share, and to subscribe to my channel, and please share these videos that I'm doing for domestic violence and abuse. I want to spread awareness. Please help me spread awareness. It is a problem, it is an issue that we don't talk about enough, and I've got so many plans regarding spreading awareness, and this is just part of my plans that I have. So I'd appreciate it if you can, number 1, subscribe to my channel, number 2, please share this video. Right, so let's get I spoke about some of the behavioral patterns that you need to look out for from your partner to see if they are being abusive. I'm gonna speak a little bit more about that, but today I'm specifically looking at the violent behavior. All right, so these are the questions that you need to ask yourself to see if your partner is abusive. And I think, speaking from somebody that comes from that situation, I can basically answer almost yes to all of the questions, or I can answer yes to majority of the questions. For one, so my ex did have a bad temper. It didn't take a lot to tick him off. It took, the smallest things. So I may, for instance, say something that I think is a joke, and he doesn't take it as a joke. So that would upset him, but it would upset him to such a level that he would get violent, with me. So it would end up being not just an argument, it would end up being him actually hitting me, Also, he threatened to kill himself if I left the relationship. And this is something that I took very, very seriously, because he had told me that he attempted suicide twice. So it's not something that I took as a joke. And, in my mind, I was still in love with him. So I thought to myself, if I leave this guy and he kills himself, that's going to be on me. And that was, guilt that I was not willing to carry through in my life. And I couldn't imagine me being the reason for him killing himself. In hindsight, when I look at it now I understand that that's what abusers do. They have a tendency of making you feel guilty. For instance, if you want to leave them, or if you want to change things or the dynamics of the relationship, they're going to make you feel guilty. So you end up not doing what you want to do because of the guilt that they make you feel. When you find a couple that has children, the abuser will threaten to either harm the children, take them away, or kill them. And in the worst cases, we've actually seen, the abuser actually killing the children. I remember a couple of years ago, it was a headline in the Sowetan newspaper where a guy actually hanged himself and he hung his son. And I will never forget this picture of them just hanging there. And I remember when I read the story, I believe that he had threatened that he would kill himself and he would kill his son if the mother or if the girlfriend left him. And he actually went ahead and he did it. And that's not a first case, it won't be the last. A lot of the times abusers, they mean what they say. So when they say, I'm going to kill myself, a lot of the times they do. Or I'll harm the children. A lot of the times they do. When I tell my story, I will tell you guys how I actually left him. It was not an easy thing to do. I had to be very strategic about how I was going to leave him, because I knew if I just went to him and we sat down and I said, this relationship is over, I knew that there was a possibility that he was going to kill me. So I was not going to take that chance. So it took a long period of time for me to plan how I was going to leave. And it took an even longer period of time to me to actually physically leave. Another thing that you need to look out for is if your partner forces you to have sex. So if, for instance, they initiate sex and you say no, and when you say no, they say things like, you don't want to have sex with me because you are having sex with somebody else, or you don't want to have sex with me because you're not attracted to me, or you don't want to have sex with me because your partner should not force you to have sex with them. Okay, they should not force you. If you want to have sex, you have sex. If you don't want to, you don't want to, and that should be okay. Once they start making you feel guilty for saying no or forcing, I feel like it's one of those things that we kind of don't want to talk about when it comes to relationships, because a lot of the times when you enter into a relationship, whether it is a marriage or any other relationship, it's almost as if you're expected to just give of yourself, to give of your body, when if you don't want to, you should not have to, and you should be comfortable with saying no, not tonight, without feeling any guilt, or without feeling like if you do, it's gonna spark off some violence. Right, and then the last one is if your partner has destroyed your belongings before. So they take your clothes, they take, for instance, your phone. In my instance, what happened is, I remember this so well, like it happened yesterday. So we had an argument about something that didn't really matter, that we didn't even have to argue about. And then he hit me, but it was like the worst beating I ever got from him. And I told him, I said to him, this is the last time that you are that you're putting your hands on me. I'm going to go to the police. I'm going to open a case. You're going to jail. And I remember immediately after saying that, he took my phone, he took out my SIM card, and he locked me in the bedroom for me to sit there for the whole weekend without any contact, without having freedom to move. All right, now I'm going to go into your inner thoughts and feelings. So this is how you feel towards your partner. This is going to tell you if you are ask yourself, are you scared of your partner? Are you always thinking about what you're about to say? Are you always thinking about your actions, those type of things? Because if you are, for the most part, then that's not healthy, and it's time that you are honest about your relationship. Another thing is, do you believe that you deserve to be mistreated or to be hurt? It's one of the inner thoughts or feelings that we as victims or survivors of abuse, we feel a lot of the times. I remember there was a time when I used to think that maybe I was the problem here, and maybe I deserved for him to beat me up because I talk back. Why am I talking back to him? I should just learn to shut up, So I was feeling all these kind of emotions, and there comes a point in time when you honestly feel like you are part of. Sometimes I would sit and think, maybe I did deserve this beating. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done this. I know if I do this, it's going to anger him. So why did I do it? So you start believing that you are to be blamed for his behavior. When you are in a relationship, you can't just be feeling helpless and, you're feeling emotionally numb. That's not how it's supposed to be. When you're in a relationship, you're supposed to be excited about being with the person that you are with. You're supposed to be happy, to have joy in your heart, to look forward to seeing them at the end of the day, or going out with them, or whatever the case may be. Building it should be a safe space for you to be in. So as soon as you start feeling like you're so indifferent to a lot of things, that is not healthy, and that's definitely one of the things that indicates to you that you are in an abusive relationship and that it's time to break. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. I'm thinking that the next video, part 4 of my series, I'm thinking of actually sitting down and telling you guys about my story. It's something that I've never really spoken about, at least not in public. There's only a few people that know about my abuse, and it took me years to eventually come out and tell them about it, but I'm ready now. I feel like the time is right. I feel that I'm comfortable talking about it. There was a point when I couldn't talk about it without crying. I would just burst out crying because it hurt me so much. It still does. I mean, abuse is something that you can't forget. You really can't forget it. You take it with you for a very long time, but it does get better with time. that you're able to talk about it without crying, and you make peace with it. You forgive them. And sometimes you have to forgive them without them even. So I've had to forgive him without him apologizing to me. So it's one of those things, you know, and sometimes you have to make peace with it, unfortunately. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, do give it a big thumbs up. Remember to please share this video. Let's spread awareness, especially during this time of lockdown. There's been a spike of domestic violence and abuse cases out there that are now stuck with their abusers for 21 days. And I can tell you right now that their biggest worry is they ask themselves, am I going to get out of this 21 days alive or not? So let's think about them. Let us support them. Let's be there for them. Let's let them know that we care and that we are there for them should they need our help. So thank you so much, guys, for watching and for supporting me. I appreciate you guys so very much. You have no idea. And I'll see you guys on part 4 of my domestic violence.